All right, you are live stream now.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. So, welcome to this month's Health and Wellness Committee meeting. It's been a while since we've met, so I'm sure there's lots and lots of updates. So we're just going to start by calling the meeting to order. It is now 5:08 p.m. Motion to approve the agenda as presented. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
So motion by
second the motion.
Second by Rachel. Yes, okay. Next is the approval of the minutes. There's an amendment to that agenda item. We're going to approve the minutes for December 2020 and June 2020, and then move the January 2020 meeting minutes to the next meeting. So I'm calling for a motion to approve the minutes, approve the meeting minutes from December and June of 2020, and move the meeting minutes from January of 2020. Can I get a motion? December 2020 and June 2020, and then move the January 2020 meeting minutes to the next.
Second.
Meeting. So I'm calling for a motion to approve the minutes, approve the meeting minutes from December and June of 2020, and move the meeting minutes from January of 2020. Can I get a motion? Are you all hearing me twice?
Yes.
Okay. Let me, 1 minute, Neri. I believe there's
Motion. So I'm calling for a motion to approve the minutes, approve the meeting minutes from December and June of 2020.
3 times.
And move the meeting minutes from January of 2020. Can I get a motion?
okay.
Should I leave and come back?
Yes. Neri, do you have the YouTube on? 1 minute, Neri.
I do not.
There's
Motion. So I'm calling for a motion to approve.
I think we can just mute her because I think that's the bad. I think, yeah.
4. Okay.
I'm sorry, who was it that seconded the approval of the minutes? Julie? Okay, thank you. So I have Kelly and Julie, thanks.
All right, so let's test this. You can only hear me once? Okay, good. All right, let's move on. All right, so items number 4 and 5, community and school updates. Welcome and introductions. It's been a little while, so if you all wouldn't mind just going around the Zoom room here and giving your intro. I'm Neri Garcia. I am a member of the school board for Providence, now secretary, and also chair of this committee. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, I'm Kelly DeAngelis with Sodexo Sustainability and Student Engagement.
I'm Rachel
Hello.
Newman Green. Oh,
Okay.
go ahead.
Go.
I'm Rachel Newman Green. I'm Deputy Director of the city's Healthy Communities Office, and I co-chair the Nutrition and Physical Activity Subcommittee. Linda.
Hey, I'm Julie Malloy, Gilbert Stewart Middle School, also in the Nutrition Committee too, as well as the Health.
Hi, I'm Linda Grassi. I'm a health and PE teacher at Gilbert Stewart Middle School, and I'm the other co-chair for the PA Nutrition Subcommittee.
This is Mark Jeffrey with.
Oh. Go ahead, Mark.
Hi, it's Mark Jeffrey, District Manager with Sodexo. Happy to be with you.
Okay, and I'm Karen Wetherill with Rhode Island Healthy Schools Coalition, and I am a part of the Nutrition and Physical Activity Subcommittee, as well as the Healthy Relationships.
My name's Carrie Lynn. I am a first grade MLL teacher at Asa Messer, and I'm part of the Nutrition Committee, although I haven't made the meetings much this year, so I apologize for that, but I'm here.
I'm Paula Paolino. I'm a registered dietitian with the URI SNAP Ed program, and I'm also on the Nutrition and Physical Activity Subcommittee.
And I'm Solite Sue, the District Wellness Coordinator.
And I'm Lisa Hoopus. I'm Director of Education and Training at Sojourner House and part of the Health and Wellness Healthy Relationship Subcommittee. Sorry, it's been a long day. I'm like, what am I can't even think of the title anymore.
All right, are we missing anybody? Maybe someone that's on the phone? I think that's everybody. Okay, well, welcome again. Are there any comments or announcements from the community or guests that you'd like to share at the beginning of the meeting?
I have an announcement. So our office just today was joined by our new director, Lori Moe Spears, who I think some of you may know from her work in Olneyville with One Neighborhood Builders. She's just come on as our new office director, and I imagine will be joining this committee's meetings for future meetings. Today was her very first day, and it was already a full day, so we did not put this on her calendar.
Awesome. Exciting news.
Yes, looking forward to meeting her. Okay. Rachel, I think there's a little comment in the chat for you. All right, so moving on, unless there are any more comments or announcements, moving on to our presentation for today from Sodexo, the metrics report.
Got to unmute. I have an update to present, so I'm going to try to get it set up and share my screen. Share screen. And let me know if you can see the title slide. Yes? Okay. Thank you, Nari. Again, I'm Kelly DeAngelis with Sodexo, doing sustainability and student engagement for Providence schools. So this is our food service update, and it's focusing on what we designated like the second quarter, December 2020 through February 2021. And this was the update that we were going to present at the February meeting, but just kind of pushed it forward. So the agenda is to review our food service mission, which we went over with members of this committee and the district, the qualitative and quantitative metrics updates, including challenges and opportunities that we faced, touch on school vacation distributions, have a preview of next quarter, and then I'm happy to take questions. So I just wanted to share with this group our mission, which you may or may not have seen before, but the mission is to prepare all students for learning by ensuring access to quality, nutritious meals with a focus on environmental sustainability and financial stewardship. That's the goal of our program. That's the mission of our program, I'm sorry. And the 4 goals of the program will be to link student nutrition to academic achievement, increase student participation in the food program, engage parents and communities in the food program, and to increase food program revenue in order to fund the strategic plan. And along the way, our priority question with everything that we're doing is going to be, is what I'm doing now contributing to student achievement? So student achievement is really at the center, with nutritious meals being the way that we can facilitate student achievement in the district. So qualitative and quantitative metrics. I wanted to touch on the challenges that we faced, especially during this period focusing on December to February. Obviously, we have continued to have COVID-related obstacles with quarantines, classroom closures, and school closures. If you remember back to kind of the holiday period, that was more pronounced. We had a lot of lost serving days in addition due to snow days. And in January, we had that kind of phased in return of students, which meant kind of missing out on number of students that were able to get meals in school. We've continued to face staffing challenges and challenges to student participation We also had a hurdle with income surveys. So it's something that the district usually collects now that we're on CEP, where every student gets free lunch. Every family no longer has to turn in kind of a proof of need for free and reduced lunch, but we do have to do kind of a broader collection. So we saw a challenge that the district was facing there, but we were able to help out, luckily. So opportunities, obviously we had to remain flexible and prioritize safety throughout the pandemic as we encountered different issues in different schools. We hired several new staff members, including new chefs, managers, HR, quality assurance, health and safety. We increased our communication and coordination with the central office and people at the district level. So that's been very positive, including obviously continuing work with Solite, the strategic communications office, operations, as well as family and community and engagement. We were able to also transition to traditional cafeteria service for some elementary schools, meeting some of the challenges that we faced in serving cold food. So we're continuing to try to increase the number of schools that are doing cafeteria service so that we can provide hot food and better meet expectations of students in the school community. We collaborated with RIDE very closely to plan our vacation meal distributions. We've continued our work with teachers and community partners such as URI SNAP-Ed and others, developed student surveys, and created a new social media presence for the Providence Child Nutrition Program. And to touch on the income surveys, I wanted to share that when we kind of jumped on in the new year to assist the district, they went from 65% complete to 84% complete. So we were able to do that through AirPod raffles. We raffled off AirPods to kids who turned in their completed surveys at the schools, as well as our grab and go locations. And that helped secure district funding to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. So we're very happy to partner with the school district in that way, and so great results. Moving to school vacation distributions, I wanted to highlight the two breaks that occurred during this time were the holiday break in December, where we served 9,500 students and the equivalent of over 412,000 meals. So it was a huge undertaking and it was very successful, kind of setting the stage then for what we did in February, which was almost 13,000 students served and over 245,000 meals. And that included our distribution at the grab and go sites on the day of that multi-day distribution, as well as take-home packages that were sent home with students the week prior, and home deliveries. So I also included details in the appendix, which you can see after. And I wanted to highlight our local partners that we prioritize for these distributions, including apples from Steer Orchard, lettuce from Gotham Greens, our local baked goods, and others. So finally, next quarter preview. So this preview is actually for March. This part of the preview is for March. We had a lot going on in March, including the finalization of the income survey collection, middle school feedback session with some folks that are on this call. We did a virtual cooking class and recipe kit with the chef from Los Andes and from Fresh RI, and we started the fresh fruit and vegetable program. We also began the take-home meals for PDs and holidays that are going to continue through the end of this school year. And in April, we've also had a big April so far, with the highlight being the April vacation meal distribution, where we served over 27,000 students, and we also raffled off 8 bikes. I was able to partner with a couple of elementary schools on a survey pilot with the help from URI SNAP-Ed, and we've worked with URI Master Gardeners and Farm Fresh RI, as well as some promotions that are that we've done, including free seedlings from Gotham Greens, and we have Big Nazo coming to our grab and go site. So those fun things should continue through the end of this year, and we're looking forward to that. Finally, I just have an update. We are hiring for a number of positions. We actually have a chef manager position that is open, where we'd love to extend that to someone from Providence, ideally a former Providence student. So in addition to that chef manager who will oversee and kind of lead and innovate based out of cooking schools, we have a cook position, and we're always hiring food service workers who are dedicated to our mission of feeding Providence students and preparing them for academic achievement. So please share out, or if you have any candidates that you have in mind, please send them my way. Thank you. And you can follow us on social media now on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We have a Providence Child Nutrition Program, Providence CNP tag. That's it.
This is amazing. Anybody have any questions or comments? I know Lisa needs to leave at 5:30, so we want to get her subcommittee report in before she leaves, but I do want to dedicate a couple of minutes to this because this was a great presentation.
All right, could I make a comment, please? I just want to add on, Kelly mentioned the fresh fruit and vegetable program. And I want to say that I want to, thanks Dexo for providing fruits and veggies to families with the grab and go meals. The fresh fruit and veggie program is typically an elementary program where children get, individual servings of fruits and vegetables. And of course, with everything going on, that hasn't happened this year. So thanks to Aaron and Kelly and Lynn, now that they are providing the fruits and veggies in bulk. So we at URI SNAP have collaborated with them starting in March. We're providing handouts, 1,200 handouts a week. So some are for parents, like the one, a papaya was given out. So we did a papaya prep sheet so that families know what to do with the papaya, how to store it so they can, learn about it, or recipes, or we alternate with handouts for the children so they have something educational and fun to do. So I'm really happy to see that the fruits and veggies are getting to the families.
Yes, thank you, Paula. And I just want to mention, so that's been really successful getting those handouts to the kids. And I also want to thank all the volunteers that helped out at the April vacation distribution because it's a massive undertaking and it was very much appreciated.
Yeah. Thank you for sending it out. I just wanted to say thank you for reaching out and sending it out to the subcommittee because I'm super excited about the opportunity. And it was an awesome day. And the Sodexo folks are so great. And it was just really good to be outside and supporting and stacking. It was a lot of hard work, but it was a good time.
And I guess my question is, I feel like there's so much great feedback from this group who are people who are really targetedly focused on the quality of the meal. So it's just so encouraging and so great to hear. And my concern is always like, how do we let as many parents and families know that these good things are happening? Because I think a lot of our work is to reverse a lot of the sort of negative assumptions about what school meals are. And so I guess this isn't, you can't answer this in a minute, but I think that that's really the work before us to make sure that folks know about this great work and know that there's quality food available, that it's not whatever their assumptions might be, so that more of them are coming to get it, right?
Yeah, this is Mark from Sodexo. I can say very, very quickly that thank you for that point, because we are doing a 2-minute video that's currently under production, showcasing the superintendent's recommendation to showcase what students are going to look like, what they're going to see for the food service program in the fall. It's going to be a 2-minute video. It's done through a firm in association with Bose, and it's going to be in English and in Spanish, and that will go out through all social media formats to our parents.
That's great.
Awesome. So I feel like food is a topic that we can talk about for hours, but let's give 2 minutes to give her presentation, then we can go back to the Sodexo conversation.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I apologize because I know that you all did such a great job. Like I said, Penny couldn't be here today, but made sure that I raved about April vacation, which a lot of you have already done in the chat, about how organized it was and just how well it was packaged, not squishing any of the lettuce and all of like the greens and stuff. So, she just really commented on how respectful it was. And so I just wanted to pass that along for sure. So in terms of the health and healthy relationship subcommittee, one of our bigger goals for this year was to look at the health curriculum. And so we reached out to Donna O'Connor and was able to access the health and wellness curriculum for the city. And so we do have that. The subcommittee has that. And so we are going to be reviewing it at our next meeting and then making some recommendations to her to kind of look at it and see where it is and make sure that it's in compliance. I will say that I had a great meeting with Donna. She was very receptive to having the conversation and also opened it up and had her lead health teachers meet with myself and Penny, the co-chairs of the Health and Wellness Committee. And so we were able to share our goals for this subcommittee, which included the review of the curriculum, and then also having Karen Weatherall, who's here, have her do an assessment with the district. And so she was also very open to that. I sent her what the assessment would look like. And so I feel like that's going to be a good next step. And so I just kind of wanted to provide that update so you all knew that we were working on that, and we'll be reviewing it and providing some feedback around that. So if anybody's interested in that, you're always welcome to join our subcommittee meeting. We meet the third Tuesday of every month at 4 o'clock. So I can give you more information or send out an invite if you're interested. And then, yeah, so I guess those are the only real updates. I don't know if Karen or Soleil, if you have anything else you wanted to add to that.
No, another goal that we have is really increasing student opportunities to have a voice within this and a say within this. So we will be exploring other opportunities to make sure that they are a part of the conversation regarding the curriculum as well.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to follow up, that just to be clear with everyone that, so the health curriculum that Donna shared is required. Every district must either purchase or develop their own comprehensive K-12 health curriculum that is aligned with the Rhode Island education health framework. And there is an advisory group working right now together with RAHSC and RIDE to update our current framework. So there will be more information coming out about that. We do have a staff person from Providence, a health teacher. We had so many qualified applicants to serve on that advisory committee, which really, I think, speaks to how important it is and how many people are really interested in what's being taught, how it's being taught to kids. So there'll be more coming from that, but that will be helpful in reviewing the health curriculum. But what Lisa was speaking to about the assessment, it's just a self-assessment that's derived from the CDC School Health Index. So it's just a little bit easier to use. And that's specifically focused on the sexual health and human sexuality. So that's the piece that, because that's, our subcommittee, what we're specifically going to be working on.
Yeah. Thank you for adding that, because she did give me the whole curriculum was this big binder, but we are specifically looking at the healthy relationship piece and the sexual health piece. So thanks for adding that. Great. Does anybody have any questions about the? Yeah.
I have a question about the bigger curriculum, I guess. So it's a big binder, so that it's not available in any way that parents or the public or other interested people can access or see. It's an actual physical binder of papers.
So this actually came up. We actually did have a parent that reached out for the curriculum. And so the district is responsible for making the curriculum available to anybody who wants it, parents, anybody. So we did let Donna know that the district is responsible for that. And Rosemary Riley-Schmott from the Department of Ed was at our last subcommittee. And so as far as I know, Donna did make the request to IT to have that put up. I haven't checked to see if it has been put up. So I don't know if you know if that has been put up, but as a subcommittee, we will certainly follow up with that to make sure that that does happen, because I think it's going to be great, not just for our subcommittee group, but for you all too, because there was some stuff around healthy eating and diet and exercising and all that stuff. So to be able to have that transparency, I think will be really great for all of the subcommittees. So yes, we do plan on putting some additional pressure to make sure that that does happen and it does get posted.
I just want to jump in and say the big binder, Lisa, that you picked up from me, that was the one that included from K through 12. Not every school got that. They just got the binder that they needed for their school. So they don't have to dig through that whole big binder for what they're looking for. Elementary's got what they needed, middle school, etc. So you have an idea. It's not just a giant binder at every school.
May
and
I
then-
ask how old this curriculum is that it still exists in a binder?
Well, it's 6 years old, I think.
The one that you gave me, I think said 2014 or 15 on the cover. So
That I thought.
So
And it
Nancy-
is accessible on, it is on our S drive.
Yeah.
So it is digital on our internal drive. So that is important to note. So it just would be folks having access to downloading it in that PDF version and sending it. But I do know it lives on our internal hard drive.
right. So we got to get it so that anybody can see it. Parents, anybody is able to access it because parents have requested it. And so it is the district's obligation to make sure that that becomes available. And so we want to make sure that we're in compliance with having that be available and just for transparency reasons.
Right. I think working with Donna is your best point person to make that happen.
Yeah, and it was my understanding that before all these changes on the district website took place, it was housed there for quite a while. So we are still in the process of revamping it. A formal request has been made to IT to put it back up there. But again, if a parent has any inquiries about the health curriculum, they can go through the school themselves to find out or reach out to our central office too. But you're right, Lisa, our goal is to make it more transparent and accessible.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of accessible, I mean, I had to go pick it up and thank you, Linda, for making that accessible. But then I had to take it to Staples and copy it, which cost me $100 to copy it, right? And so we wouldn't want a parent to have to do that. So I do think that we need to do a better job of making it easy to access and have it digital so that we can update it when it needs to be updated. Because I think it makes it a lot easier to update if it's virtual.
Right. If you do need anything copied though in the future, we can just reach out to one of us that are in central office and we can definitely help make that happen. So.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, Lisa, I know you have to go. Any other quick comments or questions for her? Or you can just email her.
Yeah, feel free. I'll throw my email in the chat before I log off.
Or
Thanks,
join her
everybody.
next subcommittee meeting.
Yes, please do.
Okay.
We do try to have youth there too. And Safe Bay, who is a Rhode Island agency, came and talked about youth and peer ed last time too. So we are actively trying to get more youth involved with our committee. All right, I put my email in and I got to log off. Sorry, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. All right, so I want to go back to Sodexo because that was a great presentation and I cut it off just because Lisa had to go very quickly. Again, really great presentation, great work. Kind of jealous, you kind of have, a pretty cool job. Kelly, I don't know if you realize, but, big Nazo, that also sounds so much fun. So I hope that it's being well received by the community, by the kids, by the parents, etc. Does anybody else have any comments or questions regarding the Sodexo metrics report? I have a question regards to your planning for, and you don't have to answer it now, but you're planning for as we transition into summer vacation.
Yeah, so actually, I always feel that I have so much information to present and there's so much that I actually didn't go into. But yeah, so first of all, my job is really fun, so I'm really happy to be here. And thanks, Mark, for hiring me. So summer, we've got a lot going on. So I think the home deliveries have ended, and now the Christy Clausen through the rec centers, the Providence rec centers, we're going to be offering meals there daily at 11 rec centers. So that's one transition that I want to make a note of. We will be continuing the grab and go service through the summer. We may expand the number of sites, but right now we have the Tuesday, Friday schedule. And so that will continue and there'll be multi-day meal packages. For the summer, I'm also looking to do a pilot with the Summer Youth Employment Program through CCAP. So we'll have a small group of students, I'm thinking like 4, who are going to do some school garden work, and we're partnering with Hope High School for that. So again, that's a small group, but that's what we're doing. And we'll be planning for next year, because we have hired all these new managers. And next year, I will go into it in the next update as well, but our two areas of focus will be food quality and breakfast in the classroom, expanding breakfast in the classroom, which we've touched on both of those before. And those are, you know, a big part of our subcommittee. But, and that's our video that Mark mentioned will also focus on those things. So as Rachel said, we're always just looking to try to get that information out to people, and we're trying to do like more campaigns to get people to like and follow us on social media so that they can see the updates of all the things that we're doing weekly.
Okay, Soleil and I had a few conversation earlier this week, which we will get into probably during subcommittees meetings, not now, about how to streamline how we are keeping record of everything, and also helping to disseminate information about all the great work that you are doing and everyone else on this committee is doing, because it would just be a shame that families don't get to take advantage just because they don't know about it. So thank you. Any other comments or questions for Kelly?
I just have a question. I don't know, Kelly, if I had asked you, and again, I was there.
Wait, you went on mute.
Oh, there. Okay. It was frozen for a minute. Okay. And it was really so well organized. I was at PCTA, and man, those women were just like a well-oiled machine. They were a terrific team. And I also saw there was just such really positive engagement with the families. They knew many of them. They regularly come. I will say there were people, so, you know, you just have to communicate it. I know you do it in so many different ways, but it just goes to show you that you just have to continue, because they were like, now, what days regularly are you here? What times, you know, and people just have, you know, a lot going on. So anything that we can think about in our subcommittee to help with that promotion. But I guess one question I had, because those are, like we all said, everybody worked so hard. They're heavy boxes. And as we know, you have to take all of it, right? To be a reimbursable meal, they have to take all of it. If you weren't in a car, it would be nearly impossible. There was one dad who came and he was like, okay, I guess I won't take this. And we were like, no, you can't, you have to. So you're only going to be able to, because he was walking, take it for one of the kids. And then he literally walked back. And I just wondered, I don't know if that's a barrier. And I know that the hope is that more and more kids, and certainly next year, are going to be in school physically, and there won't be as much of a need for this pickup. But it would be the same thing if you do multi-days over the summer. So I just didn't know how that gets communicated to people, if they're aware that they're so heavy. Like, there's just almost no way you could, you know, you'd be able to do it if you didn't have an adult or a car to be able to transport it back to your home.
You know, and related, one of the things that Solite and I were talking about was lining up pickup times with high school dismissals so that teenagers can actually get it on their way out the door. But now that Karen is talking about it, it's like, well, how can they do that if they've got their backpack on and they're carrying this big thing and they're going to get on the bus? Like, is that even feasible? So well, yeah, that's a challenge.
This is just specifically for the breaks. So on normal distribution
right,
during the school years, Tuesdays and Fridays, this isn't an issue. But you're right, we do want to be equitable, and we want to offer it to those who need it. We did get support from City of Providence's mayor's office, sending out a notification that Kelly and her team had written up. And we do mention in there specifically that there will be a large, heavy distribution, and transportation should be taken into consideration.
Yeah, sorry, Dana, the district.
Kelly, when you do the 2 days, they're multi-days. I mean, I know the vacation week was like a lot of food.
7. Yeah, that was 7 as compared to 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's still probably a lot though, right? In terms of.
I wonder, at the Gilbert Stewart site, who came? I think Elmwood Community Center. One of the community centers came and identified so that they then in turn could give the boxes to the families of the students who were engaging in their programming. So I also wonder how we might be able to collaborate, even when we're, you know, thinking about Buck right across the street, collaborate with the community centers in the area especially in terms of like access and delivering those pieces. I don't know, but I did when they were, I was like, oh, that's a really cool, that was a really cool idea.
It also makes me think about other organizations that are doing sort of emergency food distribution, about how some of them are, have clients or patients or whatever that they are delivering stuff to their homes. So I wonder if there's an opportunity. I'm thinking about like the Health Equity Zone organizations and other folks. If they have, obviously would have to be a limited list, but they would have to show up with a list of kids' student ID numbers, right? To do that. Is that how it goes, Kelly?
Yeah, I think there's definitely coordination that could be done, and we have like talked to some organizations, I think, for like dinner program in the past, but on a much smaller scale. So I think we could look into it. I would need to talk to Aaron and Mark about exactly what the rules are for that or partnering, but I think there's always opportunity to better coordinate on that to reach the kids. And yeah, so for the 7-day, I think that's the last one that's scheduled for this year. But yeah, we're always trying to think about how to make it easier for families. So we'll continue to look into that going forward.
May I ask, what would the number be of people that are walking to the distribution centers that don't have a vehicle? And are they walking? Are they taking the bus also? Like,
I think we do have some walkers. It depends on the site, and the sites are kind of strategically placed throughout the district so that they would be, accessible. I can't tell you offhand how many. We do try to have people drive up, when they can, so that we can just load their car.
And then I would wonder, I don't think we would know, because I do think people who are walking, who see the boxes and bags may just, I'd say that I'm not going to be able to carry it. So they're not going and getting it, because there definitely were not a lot of people that walked up to that site. It seemed like people knew that they would need to have a car, but that does eliminate a whole cohort of people, almost like a phantom population that we won't necessarily know the numbers, because they're not necessarily coming because they're unable to transport those pieces.
Right.
I did see a lot at PCTA of some people coming together. Now, whether that was a function of one of them didn't have transportation, I don't know, but it was actually, two moms and their kids all came together, and they would be like, well, that's, hers, and we would know the number for that and the other. I mean, that it's just a way, of trying to determine. I agree. It's kind of an unknown number of how many people there are that really, that's a barrier to access because they don't have transportation, or they don't have transportation at that time of day. What's nice about the sites is you offer, it's a pretty big window. So you could come earlier or later. Whereas if you had a delivery route, like I know in other parts of the country over vacation weeks, they've used a bus route, and then you go around, so you're more at your home, but then you have a very limited window when you have to go out of your house to meet that bus. And if people aren't there, I was just trying to think of what some possible solutions might be.
Yeah, and it's very complicated too, because we do get so much more traffic on those distribution days. So it's, that balance of, people tend to come because there's more food available at one time. And it's kind of like a single opportunity, whereas, the numbers kind of dip again when we go back to our normal Tuesday, Friday. So there's definitely more to consider, but, there are so many factors.
Yeah. Can I ask, I haven't seen what like a 3-day, would be. Is it also a combination of some like pantry items? And what I thought was, this one in particular was so great because there were things like, again, the big bag of cheese, this time it was the ham, but with recipes, some peppers in there, baby carrots, the lettuce, but then there were also like, prepared like muffins. So there were some prepared things, and then some of those kind of fresh, and then some shelf stable kinds of things they could make meals out of with recipes. All of that was great. But if you do like a 3-day, are some of them more like a meal, like a prepared lunch or a sandwich?
Yes. So when we do the regular Tuesday, Friday, I'm sorry if I cut you off. It's like the unitized meals that are ready to heat and eat. But they also do have the shelf stable. So it's kind of both because they also do have the shelf stable muffins and snacks and things like that, as well as juice. So there are similar components on the regular 3 or 4 day, Tuesday, Friday.
Well, I think that with more with better communication or improved communication, enhancing the communication that we have so that families know what's happening and when to go, I think that the community, people help each other. And so with advance notice, I feel like families will more likely be able to do that. And another option, and I don't know, maybe we would have to, do a trial run or something, is to see if we can utilize 211 or 311, more like 211, so that if families do want, are eligible for these meals, do want to pick up the meals, but can't because of transportation issues, they can call this number and say, hey, put me on this list so that we know who they are and where to take, deliver the food or coordinate it somehow. I feel like there's enough resources out there for us to coordinate an effort, to solve this issue.
I think we have to acknowledge Christy Clausen and her team, who helped coordinate the home deliveries. Home deliveries totaled over 256,000 home deliveries since COVID began. That had to stop because the rec centers are open and that staffing that was doing those home deliveries, but that was a significant contribution that she and her team did to deliver those 256,000 homes.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that because the rec centers were closed, so there's 11 rec centers, so it's the staff of all of those rec centers and at least 11 vans that they had to be transporting stuff. So yeah, those are definitely, it's a lot of resources that it was awesome. I mean, Christy is fantastic. I can't say enough good things about Christy in the first place, but to be able to mobilize that, but it's not a small mobilization either.
Right.
And that was 256,000 over several months?
Yes, since last March.
Okay, so over almost a year? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what her schedule was like, if it was every single time, but I know when we calculated it, it surpassed 256,000 home deliveries.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, so to be continued, I think, right? This conversation.
Absolutely.
But again, great presentation, great work. And so now we're going to move on to one of our other subcommittees. Who wants to go first? Physical activity? Linda?
Okay. All right. Well, most of our subcommittee's been centered around the nutrition. We did have a community organization come in and present to us, Community Gardens, Doug Victor. And that was a really great presentation. He opened up a lot of our eyes to this is great possibilities for help for our schools, but not only that is another opportunity for the communities to know that these gardens actually exist and they could become members for them. So we can try and work with that and maybe get some word out for that. We have URI SNAP Ed presenting to the PE and health teachers on May 17th. And gosh, I'm sorry, I forgot the my other piece. I didn't write it down. Oh, the Recess Rocks. Karen had the final on that, and that was mostly successful. Karen, how many more did we get for that one there?
Yeah, well, we do have one also on the 17th, which is that final statewide professional development day. We're offering, this isn't specifically for Providence. We did do one on one of the previous PD days for Providence staff and had, I mean, many more actually that didn't register even just showed up. So I think it was pushing close to 40 attendees, and all attendees had the opportunity to get a digital service called Keep Playing which for everyone in their school. Not all the schools registered. Soleil did a lot of follow-up work, and we've just decided it really would only go through the end of this school year, but it was designed to even help teachers with if there were remote learners, and also had integration with SEL. But what I think could be helpful is what we're offering on this May 17th. And it's going to be statewide, so there certainly would be participants from other districts. But the workshop is designing a safe return to play. And this is where we're working with our PlayWorks coach and the experience that they have, and really helping schools think about what's it going to look like in September, and how are we going to get back to having, you know, a safe, but a recess, an outdoor recess, that we're setting up the playground in a way that kids are going to be able to be active and you know, play game and have access to equipment in a way that schools will be prepared for. So I encourage, you know, anyone from your elementary schools. We'll be putting it out. We put it in last month's e-news, but we'll do it again next week when we send out the May e-newsletter. I can just look here because I was checking. Here it is here, to see what the, it must have come out. I'm wondering if it came out in the commissioner's memo, because yesterday there were lots of registrations, which leads me to believe it was getting included in that. But right now we have someone from Carnivale, and that looks like it's it. Yeah, so it looks like there's just one person, and this was back in April. So it will go back out again in our e-newsletter in any way. So like, if you have a way to share it, you know, we certainly would welcome schools to join us for that.
And Karen, we do also have, we understand that physical activity is very important outside of school time, correct? So we want to best support our families as well. So we were able to partner with our family engagement office to offer in the spring workshop series, a whole section from PlayWorks talking about the importance of playtime and how families can support their students, their child during the pandemic and beyond, with really supporting healthy students through play, helping them learn through play as well. So this is something that will be happening on May 12th, and parents will be registering virtually to take part in that.
Yes, that's right. Thanks for mentioning that too. The only other thing, I think I mentioned it at the last meeting, again, this went out in our e-news, and I haven't heard that any Providence school had registered, but it was a great opportunity that it was a partnership with the American Diabetes Association, and this was for after school at home, but it is a program called Project Power, and it's a 3-week virtual program that takes place they have cooking activities and physical activities and games and competitions, and there's kids throughout the country that they're grouped by age in location into sections, and kids take part twice a week, and really just again encouraging kids at home. There are even some things where you do an activity with your family, but in addition to it just being kind of like a nice way to support and saying here are some ideas and to get your kids active at home and to have fun, every child who registers, they actually literally mail a box, and it includes all kinds of things, a t-shirt and like a jump rope and hacky sacks and, you know, a number of fun things that they're going to use during the program. But for any school that was a community partner, or for a whole district, if you did register as a school or a district and had 75 kids join, they were giving a $1,500 stipend, you know, to be able to use in any way. So it's probably a little late now, but it just was something that was available. And again, I don't know the way it's, you know, it's hard. Like we have, I know you share it, Solite, so we do share it with schools, and it's a tough time for schools really, I think, to be able to do more than they are doing, so much that they're doing. But this was an at-home activity. And if it happens again, we'll see, but there's a number of schools in Rhode Island that definitely have taken advantage and are going to be taking part in it.
Okay.
All right, Linda, could I just say something about the PD that we're planning for the PE and health teachers on May 17th?
Yes.
We do this annually, so we are having our second virtual PD, which we did last spring as well. So we have a new virtual Team Up for Change curriculum that we'll be giving to the elementary teachers in English and Spanish. They've asked for materials in Spanish. We have 2 new electronic Jeopardy games, a really fun I Spy game that we've developed. And middle and high school teachers have asked for something on meal planning and budgeting. So we're planning a lesson on that with materials again in English and Spanish. And also we're giving all PE and health teachers a book called Feeding the Young Athlete, which is great for, I know a lot of them are coaches, so it's got some great tips. Part of the middle school and high school Jeopardy game has questions about sports nutrition, and there's loads of recipes in it too. So I think it's going to be something that they really like.
Thank you. Thank you, Pauline. The URI SNAP Ed, the teachers just wait for these. When we're not viral, we get to have them twice a year, one in the fall and one in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
But the activities and the game boards and all these resources they give are just marvelous. So it's a fantastic resource in collaboration. Thank you. And that wraps it for our subcommittee. Thank you.
Awesome. So maybe for our June meeting, I mean, we do this at my job, maybe take some screenshots since it's going to be virtual or some sort of something so we could kind of experience what the PD looked like. I'm just interested to know how it would go. And now you guys are all frozen on me.
We hear you.
Oh, okay, good. This has been happening all day. I paid too much to Cox for bad connection, but anyway, yeah, I would like to see, for those of us who can't make it to these events, it would be great to see some pictures. I know this is Alexa, now you have the social media. I'm definitely going to follow you guys and keep up. And so for the rest of you, if you wouldn't mind just sharing. Again, Sola and I have been talking about like how can we keep up communications in between meetings, and so we hope to share with you some solutions soon. So unless there are any other questions or comments regarding physical activity and nutrition, let's move on to who do we have? Social emotional subcommittee? Okay.
Hi, I'm going to need a reminder. When was our last full wellness committee meeting?
It was a long time ago.
Was it before March 11th? I'm trying to, okay, perfect. So we had our most recent meeting on March 11th, where we had the opportunity to host Young Voices. It was absolutely amazing, as well as the Empowerment Factory, which we were connected to through Karen. And so, our mission is really to rebrand, to begin to outreach and build connections and really showcase the availability of resources. And so this was youth specific. So our young people came on and for Young Voices and led the discussion and really talked about a great deal of the awesome work they're doing both in our schools and in the community. And then Gail came on and really presented with lots of beautiful pictures, some of the great work that she continues to do with young people around the arts in the community. We were happy to have a pretty good turnout. So it was a pretty exciting meeting. And so, yeah, that's my quick 2-minute update before that time.
And I just wanted to add to that, how, as an outsider with the district, how, and having worked with Young Voices over the years, though, how impressive the 3 young women were who spoke, the 3 students, and I haven't stopped talking about them really since that meeting. It was amazing. And they spoke specifically about, some of the other initiatives in Young Voices, which maybe not everyone's aware about, the Leadership Academy, where students learn how to use their voice, and Girl Power, which is about driving change for us by us, and mentioned a community improvement project class, which is a course that is taught completely by students. So it was, as Dana said, very inspiring and moving.
May I make a shameless plug? I'm on another board of something called Steambox. Some of you are probably familiar, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And one of the things that they have come up with to engage students, and this was pre-COVID, so they've been doing it for about 3-4 years now, is that they're creating podcasts with students. So they invite a guest. So in this case, it could be one of you all. And then they invite students, either Steambox students, they have collaborated with Young Voices in the past, they've collaborated with pretty much probably, every other student group in the area, because it's Providence and people like to collaborate. They like to, especially, youth development groups, they play well together. So I figure that maybe we can test it out, because I feel like social and emotional health is a good area to talk to students and record some sort of podcast to then put online and be accessible to everybody. I'm going to send you some examples, and then you guys think about it and see if if it strikes you as a good idea, another engagement type of tool, and also to archive the work that you're doing.
I like it. Send it our way.
All right, I'll send it.
I love that.
I'll put
And
it in the chat right now.
I love that, Neri. And I've been talking to Solite because we had been thinking about, hopefully collaborating with social emotional learning, because I'd love to tie, farm to school work into what you guys are doing, Dana, and all the nutrition stuff. I feel like it goes together. So I think there's a lot of opportunities here.
I agree. One place I would like to collaborate with you all is that thinking about, so then I have the subcommittee and then I just have the entire district, right? So one place that we talked about when we were at the food distribution is, I'm just wondering, because we've had a significant amount of families that have been impacted by tragedies, particularly fires, and limited resources, just thinking about if there was some way for us to, Aaron is his name, right? Is Aaron? Maybe it's Aaron. Aaron, were you at Gilbert with me? I can't remember if that's Aaron, but we, what was at Gilbert with me from Sodexo, the main guy, just really talked about, is there some way for us to have like a pre-established method for communicating with you all and planning when a family is confronted with a significant tragedy and limited resources? I would say our greatest tragedies tend to be house fires. Then I would say after that, deaths, right? So student death. So it would just be nice to have a plan of action and a process for being able to reach out and connect and collaborate in order to help contribute. We do a great deal when an emergency does occur, a great deal of outreach to our partners at Family Service. Really looking for folks that we're connected with to support, but I think this is a pathway that we probably could strengthen. That would be pretty feasible. And then I just wanted to update for us, we're working on a district social emotional toolkit. So that's in the works and process. We continue to have the school-based mental health collaborative. We continue to have the student assistance counselors, Sarah's agency, which helps place and support that work. So there's been some additional funding from the governor, so we'll be able to add a 2.6 FTE to one or to spread throughout maybe 1 to 3 high schools. We also are continuing to build out our collaborative that we have with DCYF and our partners, that we really strengthen a lot of our work with the local heads, in addition to our collaborative partners that align with DCYF. So really building in and having regular communication with Day One, the Child Advocate DCYF, has contact who's now the head of health and equity for the Department of Health, Langra, which is awesome. So really continuing to build those connections. We're also looking at, RIDE is offering to pay for school teams to go to ruler training, as well as for district teams to be able to receive some training in the use of that implementation of that program and coaching. So that's a resource that's opened up and available to schools. And so we're looking at that component as well. So we usually have a lot of moving pieces that align with the work on a day-to-day basis internally in the district. And then just thinking about also preparing for Mental Health Awareness Month, which is in May. So if any of your agencies have anything that they would like to offer to any of our schools, again, Sodexo going to make a question or request about smoothies coming soon. So we're trying to send out menus to schools so that schools can think about, if you want to, and we hope celebrate mental health awareness, here are some ideas of strategies and activities and things you can implement. And I think that's it, but it's always good to see you all.
No, that all sounds great. I agree. Whenever there's a tragedy, whenever something happens, I feel like people receive the information in piecemeal, and it would be great to have something. I mean, all these organizations have, text campaigns and email campaigns and everything else for things that are frivolous. Why can't we do something that, have something like that for something that is more important? So yeah, I'd like to continue that discussion. I was looking for your email address, Dana, but I'll find it.
I'll put it right in here. Don't you worry.
All right, thank you. All right, unless there are any other comments, questions, updates, I think we've heard from all of the subcommittees. And I hope you can still hear me.
You are proven, but we
Okay,
can hear you.
So future meeting dates. So when are we meeting again?
So we meet in 2 months. So that lands us towards the end of the year, right? The school year. We're in June. And we are still scheduled for the third Wednesday. That will land us on June 16th at 5 p.m.
All right, awesome. Over Zoom.
Yes.
All right, so finally, any last announcements before we adjourn the meeting? Okay, well, thank you so much. I hope to see you all sooner than later. And thank you for your work, for your service. Stay safe. And then we'll see each other again soon. So meeting adjourned at 6:10. Do I have to call a motion to end the meeting?
Making a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:10 p.m.
Second.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Kelly. All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Neri. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, and then
thank you,
just
Sunny.
a very, very quick, this is Sunny's last meeting, I think.
Oh no. Well, you are
So
just
thank
the
you
most.
so much, Sine. All of you, just letting y'all know, we're so very thankful to you. As I told you earlier today, I wouldn't be able to hop on this call without you. So thank you so much. You are instrumental in everything that we do. And then, like I said, we wish you the best. And if there's any way that I can help in the future, let me know. And definitely I'd like to, keep the connection up.
Thank you. Apologize earlier regarding to the echo. I believe this is my second Zoom live stream, so I just figure what's wrong with it. So thank you for your.
No worries. All kinds of crazy stuff has happened over Zoom over the last year. I'm not surprised at anything anymore.
Thanks, Sine. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks, Sine. Thank you for being positive, and you're always super supportive, and you're always coaching all of us as we're learning our roles and how to navigate meetings and post agendas. And so you truly are appreciated. So thank you for everything you taught me. So
Thank you.
okay.
Have a great
All right.
night, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye
Elaine.
now.
Bye-bye. Good luck.
Bye.